Guys, welcome back. Welcome. I'm so grateful to be here. And as I listen to that intro, as always, it's just such a perfect anchor and reminder to me as to why I'm doing this. And that to lead with love, I need to know what love is. I need to embody it. I need to be really clear that I am being the demonstration in this world. And so today, is a big one. I want to talk about self-love because in my experience, loving ourselves is how we access more and more love to share with others, to kind of move into a universal love, unconditional love. And over the years, over our lifetimes, so many people have talked about one of our deepest wounds being, I don't love myself. I don't even know what that means. I don't feel worthy. I'm not enough. All of those to me are kind of the same wound. And a lot of beautiful souls on the spiritual development journey, even personal development, consciousness awakening, all that kind of realm of information that we're now getting so much of. But even in the last few decades and few years, especially, how people have been talking about this, the wounding that we have experienced, and healing from that, and becoming more whole, and being able to step into what we came here for without being self-conscious, without worrying about what it looks like to the world, and just being that so passionately and perfectly that it shines out into the world as whatever it's meant to be. And for each of us, that's different. But given that everyone from Marissa Peer to Tony Robbins to, scientific research has shared that we all have this core wound. So I would say most of us, if not all of us, have this core wound unless we've worked through it deeply. And it's ancestral too, right? I'm not enough. I have to strive. I have to prove something to get love. And so almost everything you see in the outer world, quote unquote, is the result of all of us trying to fill that void of, I'm not enough. I need to prove that I'm lovable. I need to go out and achieve something, or, be something I'm not now, to receive validation and love from the outside so that then I can feel lovable and then I can love myself. I am not the first person to talk about this, but it is a path I have walked fully, and I know what self-love is. And I know what love is. And I talk about it here a lot. I talk about it on my love notes every day. I share it because I know that it is the healing force in this world that changes everything. And so I wanted to talk about self-love today from a slightly different angle. And that angle is that a lot of people don't realize that they don't love themselves. So just hear me out here. The way that we behave in the world is a reflection of how we see ourselves and how we feel. And a lot of the behaviors that we see rampant in society and in ourselves stem from not loving ourselves, not feeling comfortable in our skin, but we don't recognize it as a lack of self-love. So I've just made some notes, which I'm going to, just take a look at here. And I've drawn them from so many beautiful souls as well as my own experience. But the point is that the lack of self-love does not show up as, oh, I don't love myself. Like it's not, we don't have that conscious awareness. What it shows up as, and just as examples of what it shows up as self-sabotage, when you're trying to accomplish something or you're trying to have a relationship that you feel should be gorgeous and, connected, and yet you notice that you keep sabotaging yourself and you can't seem to get what you want. I'm just going to read through my list here. It's so beautiful to just look at these things and recognize. I hope that this doesn't come over my screen. I'll have to record this again. If it doesn't, that's okay too, because it's worth repeating, even for ourselves, right? Repetition is the mother of skill, is a mother of embodiment, shall we say. So, destructive behaviors and patterns. Self-sabotage for sure. Beating yourself up. I remember hearing Anita Morjani talking about this, how she would always be beating herself up like, that feels so painful for me to even say. It's like this voice in your head that is unkind and mean and beats you down. And the same is true for if you feel that everybody else is mean. You know, you go to a social gathering and you're so worried what people are going to think because you think they're going to think mean things behind your back or even say mean things to your face. That fear of rejection is also part of this list, that, includes self-doubts and insecurities, and projecting things on people that are anything but loving. And when your mind gets stuck in loops, I'm just reading this list again, and it's just so beautiful. Here's another example: being defensive and really defending your point of view, as opposed to enjoying a conversation with someone and trying to get to know them and being graciously open to how they think and feel about things and curious. That defensive point of view is another example. And I'll just leave it at these last couple and then we'll just, dig in for a few minutes. Always having blocks and looking for answers outside of yourself. Big one, big one, big one, big one. On the healing journey and even the self-development journey, it can be a never-ending loop. There's an example of one where you always feel like, oh, what are your limiting beliefs? What are your blocks? You're looking for answers. You're seeking. You're a seeker, right? It's beautiful to be curious and wanting to expand, but always thinking there's something wrong with you and that there are things in you that are wrong and that you need to fix and that somebody else has the answers. And then that flows into my last point, which is you don't trust yourself. You may not recognize that and say those words, but you don't trust that everything's going to be okay. Not because stuff doesn't happen in the world, but because you don't trust that you can handle whatever life throws at you, whatever shows up. And so as you're listening to this and maybe later contemplating this, I'm going to give you a couple of things. One beautiful way to help shine light on where you don't love yourself is to take all the things I just said and see what the opposites are. So we're going to do a couple of just little quick opposite exercises. And so if I look at the things that I just shared, it's like instead of self-sabotage, it would be, I always feel supported. I support myself. I have supportive thought loops in my mind. If I'm going to have thought loops, they're going to support me. They're going to support my dreams. I'm going to tell myself that I am loved. I'm going to say all the things to myself that I wish my parents had said. I'm going to tell those beautiful things to my inner child, my versions of self that I have been, that have felt less than confident. I feel confident in any situation because I love myself. I'm authentically myself, and I'm okay with that. I know that I'll be fine no matter what happens because you know what? I've been here. I'm here until the day I take my last breath. I know that I'm going to be okay because I trust myself. I trust my decisions. I trust my instincts. I trust my intuition. And when I'm wrong, I get a beautiful lesson, even if it's a slap in the face or it hurts my heart. I know my heart can recover. And I trust that my mind can see what has happened and look for the lesson because I choose to do that. And I choose not to stay in loops of thoughts or patterns that keep me feeling small and unloved and incapable or in victim mode or, in that sort of like learned helplessness pattern. That's a no for me. I don't do that anymore because I love myself and I trust myself. So I invite you to just kind of think about what we just talked about and look at the opposites because it's a great and easy way to explore how you've been and what could be and how you would like things to be. And so that's the second exercise I'm going to leave you with today is, and you don't have to do this now, but I'm going to go through it with you right now, just the basics of it. I want you to, when you have a moment, close your eyes and envision this ideal you that you have in your mind's eye, that you have in your imagination. Our imaginations are so powerful, potent. even when you were a child, when you imagined what you were going to be like as a grown up and you had all these no limits ideas of what you could be, I want you to kind of bring forward that energy now and imagine this ideal self with what we know about self-love. We know, and being in this moment and being present, your ideal self is right here, right now. But for the sake of this exercise, let's just imagine it's in the future, just for the grace to whatever parts of you feel like you're not enough right now. So as you're doing this, I want you to come up with some words. They won't be the same for you as they are for me, of what it feels like to be this ideal version of yourself. So as I dive into that just a little bit energetically, when I imagine I'm in my absolute highest timeline, ideal self, for me, I feel loving, radiantly loving, and authentic, sharing with you exactly my aligned self. And I would be the same with clients. I would be the same with my family. I would be the same with a stranger at the grocery store. I am loving. I want to be able to, I intend to, I choose to see, really see, and connect with the being in front of me as my most authentic self. I am loved. Love pours into me. I pour love right back out. So love flows through me. I feel comfortable, joyous, ecstatic, alive, wildly alive. I love adventure and I choose to have that sense of adventure in my life. I'm grateful. I've chosen gratitude so many times that I am walking gratitude. These are some examples of my truest, highest, ideal self. And I struggle, of course, with all of these things when tough stuff happens or when I feel the heaviness of the world, but I intend to pivot back to these things. And so now for you, when you do this exercise, write down some words as to how it feels in your body, in your mind, in your heart, in your spirit to be this ideal version of yourself. It could be, I feel confident, I feel successful, I feel, like I have achieved everything that I wanted to achieve in this life. I feel gorgeous, I feel sexy, I feel smart, I feel empowered, whatever those things might be for you. And then I want you to take that list and I want you to flip it over to the opposite. Okay? And I want you to write down the opposites of all those words. I feel small. I feel scared. I feel powerless. I feel like I'm not good enough. You'll start to see, I can feel it as I'm speaking it. You will start to notice what words, as you write the opposites of your words, immediately hit a tender spot in you, immediately hit a wound, or maybe even a deeply buried pattern that you didn't even know was running in behind the scenes for you. These are the places where you don't love yourself, where you can then focus, turn it back again, and focus on those beautiful words that are from your ideal self and amplify that energy for yourself. This is just an awareness exercise where your lack of self-love or self-worth or where you feel like you're not enough shows up in your life in behaviors or in beliefs or in patterns that you may not have seen before as being a lack of self-love. So I'm kind of coming at self-love sideways here so that we can bring different ways of looking at it, slight shifts in perception that may give you some aha moments where you go, oh, I did not realize that that's what that was. That when I go to a party, I'm more concerned with how I look than who I'm being or how everyone else is perceiving me versus, there's these people I get to know and see how they're doing and check in on them and love them and connect with them. It shows up in so many ways. And so I'm just giving you some examples today. I hope that you have found this helpful, enlightening, expanding, maybe a little, sad if you recognize places where you have not loved yourself. It's okay. That's perfect. It's a little opening for you. It's a little invitation to dive in and bring some love and compassion and grace to yourself. Because the more we do that, the more we then expand into that sense of just authentic love. And we have more to give to the world. And it flows out beautifully to others. And then we're the walking demonstration that is helpful to others to love themselves more. And that, my friends, is what this world needs. If I say so myself, in my experience, that is what I feel leading with love is. And I wish you so much love. Thank you for being here. I love you. I hope you have an amazing day. I'm just going to put on the outro now with this beautiful music from George Henner, who is an incredible musician, and I am grateful every single time for his contribution to this podcast. And if you want to, you can join Love Notes, which is a little Telegram group where I send out just a little something every day, a little voice note, so you can feel loved and feel a little connection in this world. And I thank you once again. Over and out. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you enjoyed this episode and it helped you open your heart, feel inspired, and know that we are all connected. Please subscribe and share so this work can touch more people. This is how we co-create the world we want to live in. Thank you so much again for joining us, and talk to you next time.